Oh, you're in the blue sky. Probably the most detailed area will be if you can make your way to the vending machines, if you can figure that out, depending on where you are.
Oh, is this where you're going to get the bags of crisps?
Yes.
And,
so what we've been doing with the students is actually putting them in the breakout area in that VR and asking them to compare the scales. Because they're currently studying how to work to scale.
I'll have to refresh myself, but how realistic does that look?
Have a quick look afterwards, yeah, there you go. Mobile, this is the lowest level of fidelity you can get in VR is mobile, so that's the lower entry. Afterwards you start going to the higher end kit, you can achieve more on those, potentially. But that just goes to show it is possible to make something app-based. And what Ivan was saying before about one of the ideas to do with training and being sort of, like looking after the baby and everything, if it runs on a mobile, then maybe you do have to have a response time to an incident. It's always on you, and you have to get your phone out and do something, perform some actions, or maybe even put your VR headset on and do some work. It might be like an on-call simulator, what it's like to respond, to be a first responder to an incident.
I mean, it's endless, isn't it? I mean,
so many possibilities.
And I think sometimes the heart, when managing your clients as well, you can go with, gosh, there's so much. It's keeping the scope. It's something that's really quite tight.
Focus.
Yeah, because I think if you heard the term project creep, so a classic project, and I've suffered from this many a time. So let's take Alison's game. This is what we like. We agree that's what we're going to deliver.
Yeah.
And then as we go through the project, through the Trello boards, demanding clients, oh, this is really good. Could you add this in? Can you do that? Can we do this? And suddenly the project creeps.
So that was one of the pitfalls we talked about with agile development.
That what we talked
feature creep. So every time you show the client something, quite often they have a better understanding of what's possible, and that triggers ideas and thoughts of, oh, if you can do this, could you also do that? And could you just add? And they're the most dangerous words in business is, could you just?
Yeah. which
could you just?
Which is fine for, in a sense, what we're in a protected environment now. Imagine you've got your own business. Sophie's agreed to pay £5,000 to do that, then keeps going in every week.
Could you just? Could you just?
So that becomes another 2 weeks of your time, but you haven't factored that in.
The deadline's
or costed it in. But Sophie still wants it for £5,000. That's for down the line, but it's something to consider when you're going through a project. How to manage your clients' expectations of the project.
You can also send decisions back the other way and say, if you want this, it will take an extra month and cost an extra £1,000. Would you like to go ahead with it, or potentially? So it can go both ways.
Okay. So next steps. What do we want to do in terms of next steps? So from our points of view, we're set. We've got some ideas. Can we send these over in some respects to Sophie?
They're on Trello, so you can just in document. I can show you now.
I was going to say, yeah.
I think direct communication would be very useful. If there's a way of like an email address or a point of contact, I think that would be very useful. And as they were saying, they're very much looking to do the agile method, which is where they try something very quickly and then get it in front of you as soon as possible, rather than going away and going quiet for 3 or 4 months and working with something that maybe is going down a wrong alley. And they would like to sort of very much keep you involved in the loop so that you can be confident throughout the process that it's turning into what you want.
Yeah, you can also leave me on Messenger or anything like that. I think you can also message on Trello, right?
We can use messages on Trello, or if Sophie would prefer email or phone call or whatever the preferences are for direct communications.
Planning is all in the documents area. Like we've already got like a planning document like sorted as well. Like we can go with that.
That's right.
Timeline. Time scale. We've got like a lot of it written down. So a lot of the estimates we had the meeting today, so to discuss that, we'll update that. Everything's going to be basically updated, and we'll keep like checking and stuff like that. So if you guys want to know whatever we are, you can just check on Trello.
So how could Sophie go with a team of people back at Northumberland Wars, go back and say, I've seen 3 concepts today, 3 ideas, let me just talk you through them. Can you show them on there? Because what you show there is a project timeline. Some of the slides that you showed today, how can Sophie get those? Are they in there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there we go.
Yeah. All the documents, like we've got everything, everything that we're doing is
so there's a reference point.
Yeah. like everything that we're doing will be on Trello. Like,
What should we make?
But if you prefer, it can just be emailed. If you prefer, rather just say, look, can you email me those slides, please? If that's easier.
Yeah, first column.
Have a look, see how you find it.
Feel free to email.
And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to spend 5 minutes with you, just showing you some of the basics of how they've set it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of, so very happy to do agile, what you'll need to recognise is that we've got a day job as well, so we won't always be immediately available to respond.
Timing.
Yeah.
Also, we won't deluge you with emails. It'll be
No.
considered before sending.
Yeah.
We just didn't want to go quiet for months at a time without any sort of...
And this is why it's important for you to recognise when you are working with a large company and a client, this is a key thing for you. Sophie's got 101 other things that she's doing in the business as well that will change priority.
It's most likely we'll probably do at least once a month. Like it's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen it, but like Ubisoft obviously have like streams and stuff about like all the updates that they're doing. So we don't want to like just like every second like in your updates that you don't need. We'll give you a
Summary
of
of
like a summary of everything that we're doing. You know, tell her how far we are.
So in terms of a couple of those questions you asked about brand guidelines and access to maybe the Dwayne Pie, and maybe gather some imagery to make it so it's quite a bit more realistic, for particularly the plank game, and then the environment game maybe. So there's some of the things we could potentially over the next few weeks get a decision on. Just to allow you to move forward.
And we've talked about you potentially coming out and seeing water treatment works and our control centre. Would that still be useful to do?
Yeah, that would be very useful.
Okay,
So
we can do that with a week's notice. We can do any time to suit.
cool. What about? Just thinking for us, we've got just a quick one.
We have Mondays and Fridays off and stuff like that.
Everybody's handed in a consent form.
Yeah.
So right, that makes life a little bit easier at our end from the health and safety authorisation point of view. So, about Thursday, that might be a good one, because you're in with us. What if a Thursday afternoon is possible? And then about 2 weeks.
And the control room, is that where you're keen to go to?
I think so. Andrew had some ideas on where we thought would be good to go.
Control room and then lovely.
Yeah.
So we were thinking,
Clean water to start with.
sort of saying to try to keep it to just under 10 people or something. So if we do, we'll do that, and we can either hire them so we can budget funding for that. So that's not a problem.
So 2 weeks today,
Is 2 weeks today?
Yeah.
I think that would be quite good.
So if you go to Great Lumley Water Treatment Works, that's where I first started my career in the Northumbrian Water. It's a full circle. So that's a water treatment works that you will have any of you driven down the A1 past Chester Streets?
Yes.
Past there towards Durham? You will have seen treatment works, but I bet you haven't recognised it. I won't spoil the surprise when you get
It
there.
look like a cricket club.
Nope. It's golf ball related.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I'll tell you, next time you go, look onto the right, past Lumley Castle, there's a white golf ball. Big, huge dome.
I've seen that.
That's Lumley Treatment Works. So that's a water treatment works.
I always thought that was an early detection sort of
there
radar
you
thing
go.
in there or something.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. But it'd be, and I think you've only got 2 weeks there to prepare for the types of things potentially, if we get permission, to try and capture some, if it is imagery, to make it as real as possible. Thinking particularly for the pump maintenance time. And Andrew or some of the technical guys there, really rich, useful information to get from them, the types of things that they do.
Sorry, like just like the guidance system or anything. If you've got like any like documents that you can give us for like engineering, and then we'll just tie that into the game, but obviously make it more fun and interactive.
Okay.
Like any like files or anything like that, you can actually give us or hand out.
What type? What do you need?
Like any like engineer like guides or something like that, like how they train them, like.
Oh, I see. I see.
So it's accurate.
Yeah.
It's not like current training material.
Yeah.
So anything with imagery or any videos or anything that might be...
So it's not inaccurate or something which might be a problem if it's training.
No, I mean, the more that can give you a sense of what it's like to be in Northumbrian Water, the better.
Also, it's possible you could on the way back. And have you had a look at some of Dwayne's Games.
Yeah.
Is that where some of the inspirations come from? What it might be at some appropriate point, Jane, whoever it was now, in the marketing team could have give you some independent feedback. So they've gone through those gamification processes as well. So I'm impressed with how you're doing it. Really am. I mean, it's as real as you're going to get it. Must admit.
And some good ideas there, so thank you. When would you like a decision from us on which route to go down?
Whenever, like sooner the better really, just so we can get started because we really want to get into this as quick as we can, so we can like get all the modelling and stuff that way and planning and stuff like that.
Well, why don't you send Sophie a clear set of options like the slides? So option A entails these features, option B entails these features, and then you've got a sort of a summary of each of the ideas, maybe some concept imagery.
I would follow up that, knowing how Sophie and Northumberland Water work. Once you've got those three options detailed, a decision by a date, because it puts the client under some expectations. Because you say as soon as you can. Sophie's language seems to come back and just push that down. I've only heard Sophie on side, so I can say that. But I think it's as important for you to be quiet.
Yes.
Because any future client will say, yes, I'd like that, and I'd like it by 5 p.m. this evening, thank you, it's 3:20 now. So it's about management of a client as well as you being managed by the client. But I think that will give you a summary of those, what we can do within those three options. And if you can give me a decision by Friday 5 p.m. on the whichever day you think is useful.
Along with any suggestions or tweaks or anything that you maybe would like to change.
Is there anything else that would be helpful for us?
Just basically any information that you can give us like, regarding, like if you want to go through it with your engineering stuff, anything like that. Probably anything to do with your company, so we can maybe add a bit more there, like stuff that is specific, but we'll have that written down off here. So.
You think like brand guidelines and colours to make it feel and look like a Northumberland Water product.
So the more materials about the company, the better, really, just to give you that feeling of what it's like to be there, to work there, to be a customer.
I think when you've got a very useful option, which is a 25-year experienced person who works here. So make use of me, because that could cut some of the corners in time. So I'm very happy to come and sit with you in a planning session. So that would help. If that
make sure Ivan doesn't leave without you writing down his email address.
So that we can cut corners, we can cut time off, and that releases some of the pressure off the client. If I can help answer some of those questions, or make a few calls internally to say, can I just check this? That helps.
Thank you very much.
Right, guys, do you want to, well, actually, it's probably time for you guys to go for a quick
Do you still have breaks? Do we still do